All right, let's get right into it. Something huge is happening in the world of Indian insurance. We're talking a full on revolution, and it's changing, well, pretty much everything about how we protect ourselves and our families. So, what we're going to do is break down exactly what this means for you and how you can build your own digital safety net in this new world. To really understand why this matters so much, let's start with a feeling I think we all know, that little knot in your stomach when you think about a sudden financial crisis. A medical emergency or an accident that could just wipe out everything you've worked so hard for. It's really like walking a financial tightrope with no net below. And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the bone, doesn't it? For millions of people, when a crisis hits, those are the only options: begging, borrowing, or selling off assets. That is the grim reality of walking that financial tightrope without a safety net. Now, here's where it gets truly scary. A whopping 87% of people without term insurance have no real idea how much their family would actually need if the worst were to happen. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That's not just a small miscalculation, it's a massive, potentially devastating blind spot. This isn't just about individual stories. When you zoom out and look at the big picture, you see a huge national challenge. It's what experts call India's Great Protection Gap. And believe me, it has major consequences for the entire economy. And this chart really puts that gap into perspective. Look at this. India's insurance penetration, which is basically the total amount of premiums collected as a percentage of GDP, is sitting at just 4.2%. The global average, it's 7.0%. That gap, that represents a vast, vast number of people who are completely exposed financially. So, with a gap that big, how do you even begin to fix it? Well, the solution lies in the core idea of insurance itself. And it's an idea that's actually, when you break it down, brilliantly simple. It all comes down to this one super clever principle: risk pooling. Just imagine a village with 1,000 farmers. Now, for any one of them, having their barn burned down would be a total catastrophe, right? But what if all 1,000 of them put just a little bit of money into a shared pot? Then they can easily cover the costs for the one or two farmers whose barns actually do burn down. See? It transforms a potential disaster for one person into a tiny, predictable cost for everyone. That, right there, is the magic of insurance. So, how is this massive protection gap finally starting to shrink? It's happening because two incredibly powerful forces are hitting at the exact same time. And the first one is a full-blown digital insurance revolution led by a whole new breed of tech companies. And it changes, it's just night and day. Think about the old way: a nightmare of paperwork, endless phone calls, being totally dependent on one agent. The new InsurTech model, it's digital first. It puts a massive menu of choices right at your fingertips and lets you get covered literally in minutes. So, who are the new players on the field? There are three main ones you gotta know. InsurTechs are these new, nimble, tech-focused insurance companies. Web aggregators are the online marketplaces, kind of like an Amazon for insurance, where you can compare everything side by side. And TPAs, or third-party administrators, they're the ones who handle your health insurance claims, so you're not stuck dealing with paperwork when you should be focused on getting better. And if you want to get a sense of just how much energy is behind this whole thing, check out this number. Indian insurtech startups have raised a massive $2.6 billion since 2018. That's some serious rocket fuel powering this transformation. But hold on, this tech explosion isn't just some Wild West free-for-all. It's actually being met halfway by a second major force: a huge push from the government and regulators to completely rewrite the rulebook and make insurance work for everybody. And this, right here, is their guiding star. The Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, or IRDI, has set this incredibly ambitious mission: insurance for all by 2047. Pretty much every big change we're seeing is being driven by that one single goal. And these aren't just some boring rules on a piece of paper. They have real, tangible benefits for you. First, you get way more choice. Agents can now work with up to 9 different insurers, not just 3. Second, you get more innovation, thanks to something called a regulatory sandbox, where companies can test out new and creative products. And third, you get more competition, because it's now easier for new companies to get into the game, which, helps keep prices fair for all of us. Okay, so we've got a tech revolution on one side and a regulatory push on the other. So what does all of this mean for you when it's time to actually build your safety net? Let's open up the new playbook. Look, This new landscape is exciting. The convenience is absolutely incredible. But let's be real for a second. More choice also means more complexity. It means you need a game plan that goes way beyond just finding the cheapest option and clicking buy. Okay, now this is really important. A recent survey asked people what their biggest concerns are with digital insurance. And look at this. At 83%, data privacy is the #1 worry by a country mile. On top of that, 2/3 of people are worried about the lack of human guidance, and more than a third are scared of getting wrong information online. These are totally valid fears, so let's talk about how to deal with them. So here it is, your 4-step playbook. First up, compare widely. Absolutely use those aggregator sites to get a feel for the market, but always, always go check the insurer's own website too. Second, understand simply. Don't settle for confusing jargon. Look for companies that offer simplified documents or easy-to-understand videos. Third, protect your data. This one's on you. Use strong passwords and turn on 2-factor authentication. And finally, know your support. Look for companies with a hybrid model, so you know a real human being is just a quick phone call or chat away when you really need them.
So here's the bottom line. For the very first time, the tools to easily and affordably protect yourself and your family are right there, in your hands. The technology is here, the rules are finally on your side. The choice is yours. The only question left is, how are you going to build your safety net?